What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Sim Standard Podcast. And as you can see, guys, running solo right now. But you know, it is what it is, man. You know, we'll get it popping, waiting for Smitty to come on. But even if he doesn't, man, I'm sure it's enough to talk about. Some of you guys may want to join in. So, it's all good. But of course, guys, in light of the, in respect to the draft, I got to put on the Steelers gear. I always got on my Steelers hat, but I had to throw the jersey on tonight, guys. I went ahead and threw, one of the old school ones. Not really old school, but I guess you could call it old school now. It's Troy Polamalu, since he's no longer with the Steelers. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, got a good show lined up for you guys tonight. Hopefully Smitty will be on here shortly. Maybe Azure. We'll see. But if not, like I said, I'm sure there's plenty to talk about, man. We got the draft popping off. But let me definitely give you the topics that we want to cover tonight. So you already know what's up with that. So we definitely want to talk about FIFA versus Madden tournaments, as far as how they look on the big stage. It's a very big, wide margin there. We'll jump into that and talk about how they differ. Also, can Online CFM be a marketing tool for Madden? This was a question that was posed by you guys in the community last week, and we're able to get to it at this point. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. And I do see Smitty is on now, guys. As you can see, family, man, that's how we do. We got to do that first. So we're happy to have the little one here with us. But also, guys, we want to talk about NBA Live 18, the expectations, kind of, I guess, feeding off of the video I recently did. I know Smitty also has content coming around that area. Just want to give out, give expectations, as far as what is the community looking for? What are they expecting in order for this game to be, worthy, a look or a purchase or what have you. But then also, it's the NFL draft, guys. The draft is popping off right now. It just started. I don't believe anyone's been drafted yet. I'm not in front of the TV, but I'm going to have to rely on the good old iPhone and Twitter and you guys to find out who gets picked where. I ain't going to worry about that happening. Probably not even while we're on the show. But, yeah, let's get ready for that, man. So, like we always do, we'll start off with some quick introductions. Smitty, how was your week? Anything you want to speak on in regards to outside of the topics, feel free.
Just making a pit stop here at the house and everything, what have you. So, at the moment, things have been a bit busy over the past week. But I am back on, looking forward to today's show. Hey, definitely got the NFL draft going on. So that's huge right there. But then also, in addition to that, look, it's getting closer. Each week we do this show is another week closer to EA Play, man. So there's a lot of good stuff coming on, coming down the pipeline. And also another thing too, shout out to my dude Shopmaster. He's out at in NYC. They're getting ready to do a Madden tournament. I think they're popping off tonight, or what have you. Is getting ready to start up tonight. So shout out to him being out there. But no, man, just looking forward to getting it in on the show today here. So
yeah, same thing, man. The only thing else, I'll slightly mention is I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the NBA, Smitty. I know we probably won't really go into that today, but that's one off topic. I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody is, a real threat to the Cavs. Maybe the Wizards. But what's crazy is looking at that series, the Wizards have shown that they can be up and down also. It's crazy, though, because the Cavs, to me, and I said this a couple weeks ago, they're not the same team. They're a little up and down as well. But to me, what we're actually seeing, Smitty, is what you expect a number one, actually the Cavs are not a number one, but they probably should have been. Let's just say that. If they would have been clicking on all cylinders, they probably should have been number one. So I'll still use them in this analogy. You expect a number one or the top tier teams to sweep the bottom team, right? They had a little struggle with the Pacers. The Pacers gave them a little bit of run, but you would expect for them to sweep a team like that and rest. Same thing that Golden State is doing. And just seeing that, it makes me feel like, okay, these guys are probably going to come out their respective conferences, but I don't know. I don't know. I thought San Antonio might be able to give a run. They're having a little bit of trouble with Memphis. I don't know.
Well, but you know what, though? One of the years, I forgot, it was just like a few years ago when Memphis when the Spurs had went to the finals. They played them in the first round, and I think they got pushed like 6 games because it was like Memphis. So like Memphis is a legit challenge for them because they are a similar team,
right?
So in their play style, and also they don't have Tony Allen because he's out due to injury. So like, just think if they had Tony Allen, how pivotal that could potentially be. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know, like I said, we're not deep diving on the NBA with this show, but it is. I will say that it has been a very entertaining playoffs. Even though the Pacers got swept, there still was a lot of intrigue. There was still a lot of intrigue to that whole situation and storyline. So
it was very intriguing. Very scary if you're a Cavs fan.
Yeah. So, and then also the other thing we got to bear in mind here is what's Paul George going to end up doing in the future? Is he going to still be in Indiana? Is he going to go to LA? Like, what's the deal there? So we'll see. And then the same thing with Russell Westbrook. He said, I would like to be in Oklahoma, but that doesn't necessarily mean he'll be here. Being OKC, he still may leave the Thunder and go elsewhere. So we'll see, because he ended up at the end of the day, all that exertion, and he still got exposed. So
tough situation there.
Yeah. So we'll see though, but it'll be interesting to watch. So
yeah, man. And just to touch a little bit on what you said about Russell, man. It sucks because, I think I mentioned this probably last week. I think it was on last week's show. I like Russell. I really do. Oh, sorry, guys. That's my phone. I'm trying to watch the draft on a relay tip because I'm not near the TV, so I'm a little behind. I see that they say Myles Garrett. Oh, well, that was a big shocker, right?
Right.
But see, the Browns got Myles Garrett. But yeah, real quick on Russell, man, then we can jump on in. It's kind of like what you said. In a sense, he got exposed out of necessity. And I guess you guys can follow me and you understand what I'm saying. Part of it is in his DNA. We saw that early when Kevin Durant was there, when James Harden was there, when Ibaka was there, when Reggie Jackson was there. We saw the same kind of guy. Now, you could contribute that to him being younger. And Smitty and Azure, I sure remember this. We used to talk about these things back in the day when I used to say, I like him, man, but he's just too reckless. He went through that phase, right? Then all of a sudden he started calming down a little bit, especially this year. This year made you say, wait a minute. He could actually, if he settled down, he could be a point guard or be more of a traditional point guard if he wants to, but he can score. But then out of necessity, and this is what I mean by necessity, in the playoffs, you get to a point where your teammates aren't really giving you what you need. So it forces you to be a ball hog, and like Smitty said last week, we both said, but he didn't even give them guys a chance in that one game. So it's kind of like it did expose him, but it was almost like out of necessity why he got exposed. But yeah, man, I feel you. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know what Russell Westbrook is going to be from years going forward. I think this year was the closest he's ever gotten to being, recognized, or we can look at him and say, okay, in some games he was playing as a point guard. But I really feel like, man, what he should be, the same thing I used to say about Allen Iverson. When they tried to put Iverson at point, I was like, he can play point. That dude can score in his heart. Put him at the 2, let him score. I think that's Russell, man. I think Russell Westbrook might probably be better suited at the 2, and let him bring the ball up from time to time. But I don't know, man. It's a tough situation. Where is he going to go? Let's say that. Where is he going to go where he's going to be able to be that missing piece? I don't know, because of his play style. I root for him, man. Like I said, he's one of my favorite players, man, because of his tenacity. I love the guy, but I just don't know. It is what it is. All right, guys, let's go ahead, man, and jump into some of these topics, man. Let me see where we want to start off, guys, and we'll be interrupting ourselves as we're watching the draft and things of that nature. If there's some strange things that happen, but the first we want to talk about is FIFA and tournament play. Smitty said there's a tournament tonight. I didn't even realize that, or tonight going into the weekend or what have you. I didn't even know that there was one popping off, tonight. But here's the thing, and I'll start a little bit of it, then I'll pass it to Smitty. When I watched that FIFA tournament, right, I literally felt like I was watching soccer. That's not just gameplay. That's everything. The way the game flowed, player movement, the fluidity and user control, where I could physically look at that and say, wow, I could tell what these guys are trying to do. You can see it. You can see the stick skill. I didn't see any twitchy movements. Now, listen, I know the game is not perfect, but what I'm saying, if you look at and look at what Madden represents, it stuck out to me a couple things. I didn't see any glitches. Now, I'm not saying that there are not any glitches, but I didn't see any. I happened to watch the 2 games that NYC, Chris and Rain played. I'm glad I tuned in at that time, but those were phenomenal matches. But I was able to see strategy being done. I was able to see when Rain made a couple adjustments. Even the commentator was saying, he did something at half or whatever, and he came back in that first game. He came back, brought it back to 2-2. Chris was still able to get the victory, but you can see it on screen, man. It played so smoothly. So even if you take glitches and all that stuff out of the scenario, the way the game appeared was just almost flawless. Now, again, you're talking to a guy that doesn't know soccer like that. I don't know the rules. I don't know, when it's offsides, and, I don't know positions. I don't know. I do know there's forwards in soccer, I believe, and strikers. I know that, goalie, but I don't know everybody else. And it might not be any other people. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, well, they are, because I've seen it in FIFA. But what I'm saying is, I don't know why this guy should be a forward or whatever, or wingman or whatever you want to call them. Or I assume guys who are strikers, I'm assuming, because I don't know, are guys who are fast and have, I guess you would say they have good dribbling skills, I would think, because I'm thinking they would be more like a guy who can take the ball. Like if I equate it to basketball, somebody who can get to the rack. So that sounds like, to me, a striker is probably that type of guy. I don't know, again. But all that aside, when I watched the tournament, I felt like I was watching the World Cup. That's usually when I tune in to watch soccer, during the World Cup. I always watch that. And that's where the World Cup is where I allowed myself to appreciate the talent and the skill of soccer players. So, I'll throw it to Smitty, because I definitely want to hear his thoughts, but that's just my quick thoughts there, man. It's just, I didn't see the nonsense like you see in Madden, the glaring things. And I'm not even talking about, and I know Smitty going to elaborate on this, so I'm not even going to go into this part, but I'll just say, I'm not even talking about just the people doing the same play and stuff over and over and over. I'm talking about, I didn't see anything like the swerve catch. Nothing like that. And it just played a smooth game of soccer. And that's where Madden is going to have to get to, man, in order to gain that real respect or even that real competitiveness on that type of stage. But Smitty, I know you want to dive all in on that, man. I know you could probably even go a lot deeper than what I just did, but what are your thoughts on that situation, man, as far as, how Madden appears on the tourney stage versus how FIFA appears?
All right, I'm here. I'm sorry. Trying to get the situation here under control.
It's all good.
Oh, wow. Mitchell Trubisky, huh?
Who, the Bears?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, let's think about this for a moment, Smitty.
What, for Jay Cutler?
Jay Cutler ain't there?
No, that's what I'm saying. In his replacement.
Who's that quarterback? What is it? Old boy, right? Glennon? Is it Glennon?
I think so.
From Tampa Bay?
I think so. See, that tells it right there, though.
Well, now this is interesting. What Cleveland gonna do now? Are they gonna go with Watson if he's still there? Because everybody was saying they was gonna get Myles Garrett. Well, at least everybody was saying the smart thing to do, get Garrett, and then at number 12, you come back and get. Everybody was saying Mitch, Trubisky, which, in my opinion, listen, I don't want to get into all the stuff that I've been hearing today from like First Take and all that. Y'all all know what I'm about to say, but I ain't gonna do that. I don't understand why Deshaun Watson is getting as much criticism as he is, and this cat, not taking nothing away from him. This dude, let's face it, Trubisky is built, and he has the statue of an NFL quarterback, no doubt. The games I've seen him play look pretty good. But how a guy that plays 13 games is getting more respect than a guy who, what would they say the stat was, something like 30 something and 2 and 4 or something like that in this dude's whole career, went to the national championship game back-to-back and won one against Alabama. How is this guy not being put in the front? I don't understand that. I do kind of understand that, but we're going to leave that for another show. But come on, son. I'm just saying. But yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a shakeup, right? I told you guys the draft. This is why mock drafts are just hypotheticals.
Well, of course. I mean, we know they are. We know they are, even though in comparison,
they're saying the Bears traded. Bears traded their pick and the 20. Which pick? What did they have in this round? I didn't even know. When was the Bears picking? They weren't the number 2.
Oh, they moved. Oh,
they must have moved.
They moved up to the second spot.
See, it sucks, man, not being able. Look, let me show y'all what I'm doing. Look at it. Look at it. I'm watching it via the Xfinity app, but it's behind.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm not listening to it. I'm just, viewing it.
I'm using the NFL mobile app. Yeah, but it's still,
you know what? I got that too. Let me check that one.
Because it got the draft playing live, so you can, but
excuse us, guys, but y'all know this is gonna be all night. We gonna interrupt ourselves for the draft. Y'all know.
So, that. but I would say, I know we just brought that up, but then, and thanks for the Spirit for making a mention about the picks. About that. So I didn't know about that, but I want to say, as far as FIFA is concerned and the whole tournament scene in regards to FIFA, I mean, the funny thing about it, and like I retweeted it out, I did a video a long time ago. Well, I don't want to say a long time ago, like it's been that long, but I did a video a little while back about FIFA in the tournament scene, FIFA 17 in the tournament. And I'm like, FIFA is legit on the tournament scene because it looks like he said, like what Sim was saying, it looks like you're playing, the World Cup. Like it looks like legit soccer. And that's the whole thing. You have guys do their runs. You see guys blocking each other out. Like they're using the full plethora of legitimate skills that you would see on a soccer field to gain advantageous positions accordingly. Mm-hmm. That's what these dudes are doing. You know what I'm saying? They're just not doing. I do this one trick move and I'm beating you. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, listen, there are cheesy things that happen in FIFA. I mean, there's no question. If I took a quick look to see what's the cheese in FIFA 17, I'm pretty sure I'll see some stuff pop up.
Very sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is that these guys are playing using legitimate skills and techniques that you would see in a soccer game. Like, it looks like straight up soccer from what I'm watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
So, and I mean, yo, when I when I played, and that was the funniest thing about when I watched, and that's why I was saying, like, I wish that Madden Universe could have been on here because the main thing with this here, with this draft, and I mean, not draft, excuse me, I'm thinking of the draft in this, but the main thing about FIFA and the tournament scene is that what we're seeing happen in the game is literally happening. Like, that's it. That's the game. Madden, it looks arcade. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean on that tournament level, it looks arcade. And that's why when we say we play the game sim style, we do this, we do that. Mm-hmm. We play it, you know, within the confines of a football game, as you would see it happen on a Sunday. The stuff you see happening in these tournaments and stuff in Madden, you would not see that going. You wouldn't see that happening on a Sunday in the manner in which. Now, I'm not saying all of it, but there's a legitimate amount of things. And that's why when you talk to, that's why when, you know, when we had Madden Universe on, and he would make some, you know, he would ask some questions in regards of football and the tournament play. That's why it was so hard for me to answer. It was a bit challenging to answer some of his questions, because you're talking about a game that's supposed to replicate the sport of football properly, but then at the same time, it's being played in a video game-esque, arcade-ish, cheesy kind of manner. And then we're trying to talk about, you know, we're trying to talk about football, you know, football legitimacy. That's extremely hard. Let me see here. Okay. Solomon Thomas gone. Okay.
Key thing to know, guys. San Francisco needs a quarterback too. Interesting. Just saying. Yeah. All right, keep going, Smitty.
But from what I was saying though, you know, it's hard to call what kind of game you're getting in terms of that tournament play when you see things unfold in a cheesy manner. FIFA, it's legitimate soccer. Like, that's legitimate World Cup soccer. That's like when I play in my career mode and everything. It looks like that, like it resembles it. That's legit football right there. And that's what I'm saying. That's what's missing when I'm playing, you know, when I'm talking about what I see in Madden. That authenticity isn't there. And it's because the game, the way it's built, has you restricted. So you can't do all that foolish and silly stuff and expect to get away with it. It's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to fly. They're not going to let it go. Because you do that silly stuff. If you try to play, let's say if you try to do some cheesy stuff in FIFA, that's just like when I play PES. If I don't play PES according to soccer rules and be patient and find those opportunities to move the ball the right way, they're going to light me up. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like the exact same thing when I'm watching these dudes playing these tournaments. These guys are strategically moving the ball down the field and doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not just scoring at a whim. You know, like I had one, like in the video that I had done. Dudes had dude came back. Literally, like the first half, only one goal was scored. Okay. one guy, the opposition, the one guy, his opponent he only got one shot off in the first half because he was playing solid defense. Like my man was playing solid D, couldn't get in, couldn't make any plays, whatever. Second half, all of a sudden, my man's able to score 4 goals. You see what I'm saying? Run off 4 goals. And I mean, it wasn't like he did, all right, now I'm going to do this cheesy tactic. Like, no, he created some opportunities for himself and took advantage of it. And that's why I'm saying what you see happening in FIFA in these tournaments, these guys are moving the ball. They're jockeying for position. You're seeing the player movement. You're seeing them box out. You're seeing jersey pull. You're seeing guys use all of that. Yeah. What was it my man Pele said last year? Football is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Or beautiful football. Like, now that was FIFA 16, but still, the point is you see it in there. This is the kind of stuff we need to see not only in live, but we also need to see it in Madden. Heck, we even need to see this in 2K. You know what I'm saying? Like that movement and the ball physics and, you know, like when dudes commit fouls and penalties, I could speak to it because it's right there and how it unfolds. Like you can see the narrative in terms of why that was. How come my man got a penalty kick? That's the thing, penalties. And I said that before a few moments ago, but the penalties, all the penalties, every stipulation, situation, and whatever, I don't know all the scenarios where they position them to kick the ball at and everything. But the point of the matter is that whatever you get called for being too aggressive or whatever the case of the matter is, you can see why you got called for it. Madden is just a suction sequence, and it's based off their traits. But see, that's what I was talking about last week, toward the end of the show, of last week's show, when I was saying, separate those animations. Pay attention to their traits. If you got somebody who's aggressive and you say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play aggressive too, you could run the risk of getting penalized because of how he plays. Even though it's an independent animation, it still is how you're playing the ball. I'm going to go for a swat. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna try and play the ball, or I'm gonna play the receiver. You can play the receiver and mess up. See what I'm saying? And then you got to go back and say, well, how come he did it? I'm user controlling him. It's because of the traits. You know what I'm saying? It's because of his skill ratings and traits. And that's what I brought up that MLB The Show example. Because on MLB The Show, when I said I had Miguel Cabrera, the ball was hit, it was coming straight in my direction. I'm like, bet, perfect position. Let me make this cold play.
Whoa. The Jags took Leonard Fournette.
Oh, wow.
I was not expecting them to take a running back for whatever reason. Not saying that they couldn't use one. Well, you know what? I'm wrong in that. We're talking about Tom Coughlin. Y'all know he liked to run the football, so that makes sense. That makes sense because they've been going defense so heavy, and your boy. I gotta bow down real quick, Smitty, to Moonlight Swami because I remember when we was laughing at Swami when he told us that old boy Blake Bortles. Remember he was saying, "Oh, he's the 24th best quarterback in the league." This was last year. Most of us got on him about it. He might have been right.
Yeah,
maybe they need a run game to help that out. So, I see that.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, I was just saying, like when I had the example with Cabrera, the ball comes my way, I'm in position to catch it, and they make me bobble it for an error. You see what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff happens. Sim. Oh man, but that kind of stuff happens in the majors or what have you. That happens in the game, and that's why I'm saying there has to be some kind of legitimate error that can happen that you can speak to and say, okay, that could happen. That makes sense. True bobble passes and stuff like that, instead of it just being an animation and then it's like, oh, didn't get it. Either you get it or you don't. See what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about, man. But FIFA has it That's why we talked about it. We said it all year round, multiple videos, talked about it on the show here. That's why FIFA and PES, those games hold that precedent. I would even throw NHL in that bag too. But those games hold that stature precedent that Madden needs to get to. For real, for real. So
absolutely, man. And just to give y'all a quick break in news, 205. Y'all know him as Alabama Stack. He's going to come on in a moment. I sent you the invite. He wants to talk about the Xbox Scorpio. So that's what I'm going to start doing too, guys. When you guys say you want to come on and you have a specific topic, then I will announce that to the show. So for you guys who come in later or whatever, or catch it right around now, you're not thrown off by the format or whatever, because the way this show works for you newcomers, we have tentative topics, but we would prefer you guys to talk and have topics so we can have dialogue about things that maybe was not on our mind. And that makes for a great show. So Stack is going to come on once he accepts the invite, and we'll let him do that. And yeah. But just picking back up with the Madden and FIFA, it's just, think about it. How many times have you watched a Madden tournament and the first thing you say, oh, they're running that blitz. Oh, there's a swerve catch. There's the glitchy this, glitchy that. And again, like Smitty said, I wouldn't know if there was any glitches in FIFA. I'm sure they are. You know, I bet you we could do a YouTube search right now. Somebody got a video, perhaps. But the point is, when you looked at that tournament, for any of you guys who may have watched it, or if you don't want to watch the whole thing, go look at the little video I did, and I'm showing a clip from their game. That game is very clean, period. It showed itself very clean, and Madden is not on that level yet. Smitty actually nailed it. I'm not saying, and Smitty's not saying that Madden is an arcade game. We don't feel that, which some people do. But the game is not an arcade game. However, it appears very arcadey and arcade-ish on the tournament level because you're seeing all this crazy stuff. You know, and even if you want to get more detail with it, Smitty, even if we want to talk about player movement and warping. Now, I've showed you guys in videos as well. There's a little bit of shift going on in FIFA also, but not like Madden. It's not as prevalent as Madden. So if you see it in Madden, a guy throws a deep ball, and then the defender's here, receivers here, and then all of a sudden they to meet. That looks bad. And that tends to happen entirely too much in Madden. I actually just recorded a video a little while ago, man, that there's times that the animation and the sequence is very clean. I just wonder why they can't get them all to that level. I don't know. But yeah, would have to agree with Smitty there. Madden has to become more. I mean, this is kind of going off of the rail a little bit, Smitty, but we talk about this every week. Madden has to address the little things to make big changes in the game. It's just that simple. You know, they have to get the player movement not only looking good as far as how they're moving, but also allow it to respect what's happening. Respect the fact that I'm not in position to make this play. I'm not in position to get to the ball and catch it. You know, respect the fact that I'm setting this guy up. I see him coming. Here's the momentum. I'm going to juke now so he can't get to me. You have to respect what we say all the time. Players, their actual positioning, the relative positioning to the play, ball, et cetera, et cetera. Get that together. Get physics and interactions to be more physical based, and don't force animations, and allow the animation to be driven by the physics instead of having the, you know, the animation driving the physics. And what I mean is a lot of things that you see in Madden is animation, and then physics takes over after the fact. In my opinion, it should be the other way around. You got to have your scripted animations. Of course, you got to dump tons of animations in, but it needs to be that the physics creates the animation. Just like this, if I leave my arm limp and I hit it, it falls. That's natural physics, right? Instead, how Madden works is they have the animation to do this, then the arm falls. So that's what I'm trying to say, so to speak. They got to get it like that, some kind of way. But perfect timing, man. We got 205 on right now. we'll go ahead and usher him in and let him speak on the Scorpio as well as anything else you want to comment on. I know we're watching the draft, so if you got any comments on that, feel free, man. But what you got for us tonight?
Just want to talk about the Scorpio. I know you was talking about it on your podcast the other night. Playing Battlefield 1 together.
You sound low. I think your mic's turned up. There you go.
Is that better? Is that better?
Got you. Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Sim, I know you was talking about Scorpio the other night when you was live streaming. I think it was Battlefield 1 when we was playing.
Oh, yeah.
If I was right. Okay. I was just going to tell you some things I found out. You know, I went to GameStop a week or so ago, something like that. But they was telling me that the console was going to be a totally new console. Xbox One, like an upgraded. It's going to be like console. And I said, "Are you serious? How is that possible?" Because you know they gave us the specs and they said that it would be backwards compatible with 360 and Xbox One and all this stuff about a month ago. They said no. And this is what they're showing at E3. So they pulled me around on the computer. And I was like, looking at the specs, and they said, and this could be up to an $8,000 to $1,000 console. Because it's close to the specs that you would have in a PC. They said that, and this is from the GameStop employee who is actually going out to see the workings of the console in the next 2 weeks for they have with all the game developers and the with PlayStation and Xbox and what they got coming up for E3. So they do their own conferences together and stuff. They said the game was supposed to launch within a year to a year and a half with 100 games, exclusive to Xbox. It's going to be a high-end 4K Ultra console. So it's going to push the 4K TV to the max. And people need to be ready because they was talking about not FIFA, but Forza was playing at 60%, and it made Pro look like it was on PS2 graphics from what they were saying. And that's not even at 100%. And this is coming from, you know, the guy behind the computer screen showing me everything. And I'm just like, this ain't the specs they showed us. Their release, you know, when they did their conference online for YouTube. So it's supposed to be a whole new console. And I'm just wondering, you know, why would you do the consumers like that? We had this conversation on my last video, which is being probably the last part of it because it's so long. Thing is, why do you do this to the consumer? You know, we've wanted the next generation of games to come out. So I'm just wondering now, you got to make a different game. Or are they going to, how are they really going to beef this up? Is Madden going to play different? Are all these other games, this third party, going to play different? Are they going to have more stuff since it's, you know, the next generation of their console? And you know, Sony's not going to hold back. They'll put out the PlayStation 5 probably next year or so, whenever this thing hits the streets. They don't want to lose all this. But if we're going to be where it's 3 to 4 years and we drop a console all the time, we can really keep up. I'm 35, man. And like I told you the other night, I dropped $1,800 on this 4K TV. Got a PlayStation Pro and everything. If I had to put out $800 or $1,000 to get it, I mean, I'll be willing to do it, but I don't know if I can keep doing it every 2 years, 3 years. I know they're talking about cell phones doing it, and I know 757 says it, but they're going to have to give me some kind of plan to turn in another console or something, because I don't know of anybody, unless you're rich, paying that kind of money every single 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
I think, I just want to say, it's like, what's the name? Guy GSP here in the group, in the chat. He said he pretty much was spot on. If it's gonna cost $800 those sales are going to drop drastically.
Yeah.
And that's like, think about what happened with PS4. PS3. When they had first came out and they had that $500-$600 edition, and people were buying
I paid $6.99 for that 60 gigs.
Yeah,
you know?
See what I'm saying?
It was
So people not gonna pay that much bread when when the game is basically gonna be like, when games come out, they're essentially gonna be on the same level. Because that whole Forza thing, I had seen a video on that. Forza is like that's an in-home title. That's like Nintendo with Super Mario and showing that and saying like,
right,
oh, we got this fidelity looking crazy on it. That's like Sony using Crash Bandicoot. So it's hard to say. And now that's the one thing that my man did say. I don't know what video you may have saw, but I saw one like a while back, like maybe a little over a month or so ago. And he was even saying like, that doesn't mean that all these games are all going to come out like this, because, they all have to get acclimated to the tech. And I'm like, see, there it is right there. That's the same thing we be saying all the time. So it's like, these devs are not going to be like, don't think that all of a sudden Madden and PES and FIFA and all these games just going to hit just like how Forza will hit. It's going to take them some time to be able to get to that point. So I take it with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? And like, before taking it real serious, what are these games actually going to look like? Because just think about it. E3 and E3, Gamescom, all these other conferences, until they have something on the floor, on display, you can actually see what you're actually going to get. It doesn't mean anything, because all of it will be more in-engine footage or something like that. Just like the Star Wars Battlefront trailers that we've seen. Like, both of them, even from the first one and even the second one, they said it's in-engine. So it's capable of doing that, but it's not going to be spot on one-to-one like how you saw it in those trailers. It'll be the same thing with the Forza. Like, Forza is going to look really good, yeah. But at the same time, what about all these other titles, though? Are they all going to hit just like that? Like, they'll be in the ballpark possibly, but are they all really going to look that good and move that well? See what I'm saying? So that's where we gotta take the bitter with the sweet there. I would be waiting on reviews and stuff way before I even consider thinking about getting Scorpio. So let alone any of these titles. Yeah, go ahead.
My thing with that too, Smitty, is we gotta even think about Xbox doesn't really do good with exclusives anyway.
Nope.
I mean,
that's true.
I mean, look at that Quantum Leap. What was it game? What was it? That game where you could stop time, fast forward, reverse, whatever it was.
Quantum Break.
That game was like that game was a hit with everybody, but so the Xbox community itself has a hard time even supporting their own exclusive titles. So and then you look at Xbox One, they only got 7 exclusives coming out this whole year. And then you got Sony, who has like 150 exclusives to their own console. And they've took over the RPG market. The RPG market with Final Fantasy, take Final Fantasy away, but nobody wanted it. Sony guys everybody that wanted Final Fantasy was on Sony already.
Well,
and
this is another thing too. Why you said the RPG thing?
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing that's heavily slept on over here. All the best RPG games come out overseas. Those overseas games are played on PlayStation. They ain't played on
because of Japan.
Exactly.
Because of Japan.
Yep. They're not. So when you're talking about that top market, that's what that's what it all comes in. Like you'll have like 2 or 3 RPGs come out over here and be like, yo, this is hot. But then you got like 15, 20 other games that are import only, and those suckers are hot too. A good number of those are probably hot. That's why it's so big. Sony's got a leg up that Microsoft never will have, no matter how powerful of a console they make. They got the market. That's the whole thing Sony got. So, at least they got the overseas and they got the U.S. market too. So,
I mean, what makes me, kind of shake my head about this whole thing is like $800 to $1,000. We're looking at not proven. I mean, look at what Xbox has done this year. Or this past. I mean, look how far it's struggled behind Sony to begin with. We've got all these exclusive titles. Like, I'm still trying to beat Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't. There's so many games that I'm trying to play. Mass Effect. I'm all if you're a Sony dude. I mean, and it's messed up because you got all these. I'm not a fanboy. I just have to say this. I like playing games, so I've had Xbox and PlayStation 2, 360 and PS3, so none of that really matters to me. But when you get into this market of, who's got the biggest slong or whatever, it's still funny to me how Nintendo still makes so much money. Makes tons of money.
It's crazy, man. I didn't know anything about pricing, but even when I was giving my thoughts on it, it's kind of like along the same lines. Is what's going to make me buy it? Because all of the multi-plat games, I just know from experience with Madden, is that it's not like they're going to be able to. I don't know. Maybe things could change, but I know specifically when PS4 and the Xbox One both came out. At the time, everybody was saying, "Oh, PS4 is a better product. It's a little more powerful, et cetera, et cetera." But I was specifically told, I won't give any names, but I was told, well, we really can't make one game better than the other. We have a relationship with Sony and Microsoft, so we can't just make the Sony version outstanding and then the Microsoft version is subpar. And I was like, that's interesting. So even with the Scorpio, you would think just because of the capabilities, I guess visually it probably will look better, but it's still going to be the same game, so to speak. Unless something changes, because, again, Microsoft and EA is they got a little bit more of exclusivity there as far as, relationships, and they're the official console of the NFL. So who knows what could happen? But that's
Call
what
of
it comes
Duty's
down.
on there too.
Yeah, see, that's what it comes down.
And I'm not a Call of Duty guy, but
Yep. So that's what it comes down to me. I got to see how the multi-plats perform on there for me to. There's not enough exclusives to make me want to jump. Just say, "Oh, I got to have one of those," especially not at $800 to $1,000 now. Oh no.
The biggest thing that I heard from Xbox guys coming over to Sony is the the Sony guys don't get on the microphone. Don't nobody talk.
They don't.
I don't know if y'all. But that's how. No disrespect, but anybody ever did real chat on was SOCOM. SOCOM 1 and 2 and 3. I don't know if you ever played that sim. I don't know if Smitty ever has.
Nah, I never did.
Before then, because Xbox, when it came out online, it had Xbox Live from the get-go, from the jump. PS2 was late to the party, but SOCOM was the online experience for any or Sony guy. And ever since SOCOM's went away, people, we all play all these different games, but we don't do chats much. If we get in a chat party, it's very rare, and you have to be with a group of people that you've known for a while. But we're not going to get on Battlefield and talk. We ain't going to get on Call of Duty and talk. We just ain't. That's just how it is. And I just want to ask y'all a quick question. Actually, I've been finding myself playing more one-player games, single-player games, than I have multiplayer games lately. Horizon Zero Dawn and Mass Effect and all these single-player games. They're so awesome and wonderful to play. And the campaign I've heard in Titanfall, which I haven't played much, which I appreciate y'all playing with me last night, Sim, but it was fun. Titanfall is an underrated shooter. And I need to get into that campaign, man. That is a beautiful game. I just want to know if y'all been playing any of the single player like experiences, because I just get lost in them. It's crazy how you get immersed in them.
Yeah, I definitely have, man. Then, I'll throw it to Smitty and see what he has to say. We do actually have another caller coming on, 205. So we definitely appreciate you coming on, but we're going to get Uber YouTuber here in a moment. But yeah, I'll let Smitty respond to that after me, and then hopefully we'll have Uber on by then. I have been. I just haven't been streaming them, and I need to do that because I know I said a couple weeks ago that I was going to start streaming some of the campaigns. But I have been playing them. I've been playing Mass Effect. I've even gone back and I've been playing some Uncharted. I haven't started the Titanfall one yet, and I did start the Battlefield campaign. But I haven't, really dived too much into that. But I have been playing some of the single player games. However, I will say it doesn't take the void away. It doesn't fill the void that I would miss without multiplayer, because that's just, to me, the single player games, once they're done, they're done. That's the thing that kind of worries me about Mass Effect. I'm sure once I finish it, that's it. It's done. The quote unquote multiplayer that they have is not a multiplayer that I'm interested in. I need that Battlefield type of situation, or Titanfall, or even Call of Duty for guys who play Call of Duty. So I don't think it will ever, it would ever have it to where I'm strictly playing those games. And I'm gonna be honest, man, going forward, I may not buy the games. I bought Mass Effect just because I wanted to, but look how long it's taken me to even get through that. So it's kind of like, and once I get through it, it ain't nothing left to do. So I think some of those games, I'm gonna start red boxing them, playing them, like take 2 or 3 nights and finish them. And that way it'll make me finish it. So what you think about that, Smitty, man? You find yourself playing more, single player games versus the multiplayer games lately?
Well,
Mike Williams.
A little bit.
Ooh, Mike Williams to the Chargers. 2 receivers just went off the board. The Titans took Corey Davis.
Oh, really?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Oh, okay. I need to refresh my screen. My bad. All right. No, so I'm up here finishing eating here. But no. As far as playing, like Mass Effect is a game, and like one thing, okay, because I was taking from what 205 was saying. First, SOCOM was the first online game that they had on PS2. So that's why you had a huge outpouring with people using the headphones and people communicating, because you ain't have it. Mm-hmm. So it was a whole nostalgia. Well, no, I would say nostalgia, but just the excitement, I should say, the excitement of being able to do it. Because remember, you could buy, when you bought SOCOM, at first, SOCOM only came with the headset. And it came with the headset and the network adapter piece.
Hold on, Smitty. I gotta interrupt you for a second.
Oh, okay.
Now I know this is just probably placebo, but I want all of you guys to go to. Hold on, I'm actually gonna copy the link. I want y'all to look at this player model that Madden seems to be posting. They just posted one in regards to Jamal Adams. Now it says Madden 17 at the bottom, but I just want y'all to take a look at that. This, I mean, to me, this looks better than Madden 17, and I'm not saying it's 18 or anything like that. But what I will say, let me put the link in the description. I mean, in the chat. What I will say, y'all remember a few years ago when they used to have those little avatars on the side?
Yeah. Yep.
When we gonna get something like that?
Yeah.
I want y'all to look at this. Hold on, I'm gonna send it to y'all right now.
Excuse me.
Y'all click on that link and look at that. When are we going to get the game that looks like that? Where are they getting that? Obviously, it's CG, but come on now, that look pretty incredible right there. And the way he's moving, when we gonna get that kind of player movement? Because we don't have that in no Madden. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm even gonna tell Rex and them this. I'm tired of these little advertisements that they have these avatars and they're connecting them to Madden, but the game don't move like that. Stop that. Because let's say I'm a guy that hasn't played Madden in a few years. I know people like that. And let's say I'm watching the draft and I see this guy. I'll be like, whoa, like Madden look like that now? Not just the graphics, but look at how he's moving.
Yeah.
And it says Madden 17 at the bottom. So that would make me think, you might say it's naive, but I might say, oh, wow, that's a game. That's in-game assets.
Mm-hmm.
I need y'all to stop doing that until the game gets to that point. Go ahead, Smitty, man. I had to point that out because that looked pretty incredible right there.
Yeah, no, it does look. It looks really good there. Hold on, and people. Hold on, let me see here. Hold on. So you got me.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that? I mean, that looks
okay.
good.
So they're all doing the same thing.
That's
fine.
They
are. So
that's
okay.
Cool.
All right.
Hey,
I was about to say, yeah, but that's true. That's true because it's not something that you're seeing in the game right now.
No.
I'm not seeing it in the game right now.
Absolutely not.
So that's extremely interesting there. But dang, now I'm trying to focus. All right, what was that? Oh yeah, SOCOM. All right. So when I was looking at SOCOM, okay, SOCOM, the whole, like I said, the whole excitement of, oh, bet we could go online, we could play against other people, things like that. Now, there is a level of strategy to it, like what somebody has said, like GSP said in the chat here. There is strategy to it, yes, but it was a lot of fun being able to play it online. And like with any online experience, over time, people get spoiled by it. Mm-hmm. And when you get spoiled by it, then it's like, I don't need to chat. I don't feel like it. Like, okay, like what Sim says all the time. Like Sim, like when Sim and I play, sometimes you don't want to be. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered, right? So I'm gonna go on ignore. I'm gonna go on offline. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be bothered with. But I bet you, even today, even if it was, now I can't speak for Sim on this, but for me, if this was brand spanking new and said, guess what, guys, on consoles, you guys can communicate, y'all could chat during games, y'all could party up too and chat up with people. Oh, I'd be bouncing off the walls. Like, man, I'm gonna be up all night, chatting and all that good stuff.
Oh, your boy Christian McCaffrey to the what do you call them? The Carolina Panthers. That's nice. That's a nice pickup for them.
Yeah,
I figured that was gonna happen. I see you, Panthers. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So, but there's that, and then the other thing from what you were saying about, what you were saying about playing like Mass Effect. See, Mass Effect is an RPG,
right? So
unless you're gonna really sit down and buckle in and say, "Wife, watch the baby." Job, I ain't going into work for a minute, and you're gonna lock in for a few days playing it, you're not gonna get through it. That's, what I mean? Like it's something that just is progressive. It's gonna take you time. That's why when it ends, it's like, it's a wrap, because there's everything in between is built to keep you locked in for a mighty long time and give you all these, all these places you can explore and all these different things that you could do. So that's what it's all about. And hopefully the ending isn't bad. Because like Final Fantasy VII, one of the best RPGs ever produced. And I have friends that finished the game and they hated the ending. See what I'm saying? But the game, loved it. Everything that was in there. All the content, story, the nooks and crannies are great. So that's what I'm saying, that's my feeling on that. But that whole aspect of things. But yeah, like I said, 205, we always appreciate you coming through, giving your perspectives, but we'll see what happens though in the future when we hear more about Scorpio. Like I said, I'll be sitting on my hands until basically next year, more than likely, before I even consider touching Scorpio, and that's the key word, consider. So I'll throw back to you, bro.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we got another caller, another guest here for you guys. Some of you may or may not know Uber YouTuber, fellow game changer. Definitely want to say that. Does a lot in the mobile community, specifically NBA Live Mobile. But I'm sure he got way more stuff than that as well. But whatever you got for us tonight, man, you don't have to follow the script. You know, whatever topic you got. What's going on, man? What you got for it?
Hey, what's good, guys?
Nice. What's happening?
What's happening? Nice to finally be able to talk to you guys. I'm hyped. I'm stoked. I got nothing. I didn't come prepared, man. I just popped on. I saw y'all were live. I just popped into the chat. Thought, hey, man, let me call in. Let me say what's up.
That's
y'all got me all fired up talking about SOCOM, man.
Oh man.
I used to have that little apparatus, man, that little modem.
Yeah.
And that was like, honestly, that was the first, like, you know, I was the first online play where I really got like excited about playing with people like from all over the world and stuff. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
So cool. Like, like I couldn't even fathom that before.
Yeah, that and see, that's what I'm talking about, Sim. That right there, because I mean, I remember many nights staying up until daybreak. Like, I mean, you know, it's like I'm gonna go to sleep. It's like 1 o'clock. All right, I'm gonna go to bed. The sun coming up, and I'm like, dang, I ain't going to sleep. Like,
it's worth being tired. I'll just be tired the next day.
You're just all in though. Like, it's the experience of it all was just I'm connected with all these people and like 30. What was it like 32 people? I think get in.
It might have been,
like something like that, and you just getting in it, man. Boy,
I'm be honest with you, man. Half the time I didn't even know what I was doing because I didn't play shooters. Like I didn't know any. I just played sports games, man. That was my thing. But when I saw that was online, like I gotta do this.
It's just the experience, man.
Yeah, like it became a community. Even though I didn't know anybody who played it even, but just knowing there's another human being somewhere,
right,
playing the same game with you, like man, that started it all for me. You know, I love that.
I remember when that happened with Madden for the first time, and I didn't even know. Like a friend of mine, a mutual friend that I knew through one of my friends, they worked together. We went to his house, and he was like, "Oh, I got this game." I was like, "What are you doing?" And he had the modem, you know, the dial up. Like, what is that? He said, "Oh, I'm playing this dude online." I was like, "Madden online?" So it was just that whole, like you said, I started playing all of these different games because now I just wanted to be able to talk to other people, talk smack, all of that stuff. It's just the experience.
Right. Yeah. But you know what, man? Look at us now. Like, what has it been? At least 10 years, 12 years, right? Since then? It's probably 2004.
Yeah, SOCOM was like 04, 05.
04, yeah. So we're like 13 years past, and we're still having issues, man. I'm trying to get on the show, trying to get a game in, man. All this shit. I'm like, it's 2017, and I know nothing about servers and how to make them work. But it's so frustrating. Oh,
man. And the show is so good. It's so good of a game. I want to battle somebody else. Like the little bit of time I've been able to connect, just me trying to guess what pitch the guy's going to throw. And then it's a lot of balls because these guys, they ain't got the meters right. So when you get a strike, it is a strike. And then the game disconnects. And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You
said it best, man. The game is so good that you want it to work. Like, we can't hate on the game because it's so great, you know? Like, it's something so little that's kind of throwing everything off. Like, but the game itself is so good that you want it. It almost makes it more frustrating because if the game was garbage, you'd probably just give up. You'd just be like, you know what? It's just not worth it. It's not going to work. But I keep going back because the game is so good, man. I just, I want it to be great.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But while we got you on here, man, do you have a favorite football team?
I sure do, man. I am a. Am I wearing the hat? No, I'm not. Okay,
must be a bad one.
I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, man.
Yeah. That's good. That's a team. That's a team on the rise, man. I mean, I think to be honest, I mean nobody really. Well, some people did, but a lot of people didn't really talk about this. I think they made it to the Super Bowl a year or two too early. Like that, the defense really got carried by the offense, much like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. And, but they had a great plan. Like, it kills me because it's not like I root against the Patriots. I'm not a Patriots hater, but I was like, Atlanta has it. They came out, they manned up. I was like, yo, they got it. And then
they did what they had to do.
Then Kyle Shanahan just lost his mind. Like, run the ball.
Yeah.
Just run the ball.
I mean, that's like you as a football fan, that's frustrating to see, right?
God, man.
I mean, it's like in a way, if you're a Patriot, of course, you're going to be ecstatic, but it's like just as a football fan, like that shouldn't happen. What happened shouldn't happen. It shouldn't, you know? So it's, as a Falcons fan, I'll give you guys a little backstory here. Watching the Super Bowl, my girl, right when kind of everything started going down for us there, halfway through the fourth quarter, my girlfriend decides to vacuum in the living room. Turn on the vacuum. Not only did she do that, she bumped into the cable box and it came unplugged.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
Now I don't know who you guys' provider is, but with me, when that thing plugs back in, man, it's like you're talking like 12 minutes until that thing is back up, booted up, and loaded all the channels back. And oh my goodness, it was so the agony. It just got worse. And then I turned it back on, and it was a mess, man. Super Bowl was a mess.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it was heartbreaking for me, and I'm not even a Falcons fan. I was just like, you guys had the game, man. Perfect game plan, man up, because the philosophy they took. And I hate to admit this, and I understand why, Steelers fans felt this way, but the Falcons did exactly what most people wanted the Steelers to do. They're not a great man-on-man team, but they just felt like, listen, we just going to try it. We just going to get in their face, and hopefully the pass rush get there. It was working. Yeah. And I was like, wow, they're going to win this game if they keep it up. And I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Brutal.
Well, man, before you go, man, definitely anything else you have for us, give everybody your particulars so they know where to find you. They know exactly what you do because, we all about promoting everybody here, man.
Oh, man, I don't even care about that much. I just want to talk to you guys. I don't even care about
real talk. Hold on. I'll say this. So why don't we jump into our thoughts with live? I mean, we got.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we all gonna be at EA Play, so we gonna see personally be able to break bread too. But then while we here, like, what's our mindset in terms of anticipation or what have you? Let's dive into this live topic.
Let's definitely do that while we have Uber. And I just wanted to give a quick a breaking news. Cincinnati took John Ross.
Yeah.
A lot of speed for us to deal with. Jesus Christ. Now we got AJ Green on one side and you got the burn on the other side. That reminds me of the days when we had Mike Wallace. That's how we're going to have to play this dude.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Uber, man, I know, you're heavy into live mobile, which obviously we all are because the live console game is just not quite where we want it to be right now. But are you actually a live fan, like as far as the game itself? So like, are your expectations high for Live 18?
Man, my expectations are always high, man. They're always high for live. You know what I mean? I used to just be a live player. And, over the years, my boys all play 2K. I kind of transitioned to 2K, but every year I gave life a shot. I always still did. I gave it a good, honest shot. And kind of like we talk about MLB The Show kind of failing right now on the server end of things, I want NBA Live to succeed on the gameplay side of things. I want it to be great again. I want it to be – I think it can – it can – because live was it, man. Growing up, live was it.
Yes, it
was. You know what I mean? Like that was just. Live was where 2K is now, and I know it's an uphill battle, but I still I'm optimistic, man. They can do it. They can do it. They just I have so many thoughts about live, man. I have so many thoughts of how the game, what direction the game should go in, and who am I? I'm just a dude sitting in a chair. I don't know much about making games, about the business end of it. You know what I mean? And I've brought up the ideas I have to people at EA, and it's just just to raise the conversation. And who knows if they take some of it. All, like, to me, all conversation's good, right? No matter what, like, just throwing something out there. You might throw something out there that somebody's never heard before, and it might sink in, and it might be a good idea, you know. But yeah, I'm still excited, man. Every year I'm excited, you know, and I'm disappointed when it doesn't come out and when it gets pushed back and stuff. I'm just as disappointed as I was the year before. So I hope we get it right this time, man. I really do. Because I also think 2K needs some competition right now, man.
Yes,
they need it. You know what I mean? Competition is good, and they need it, man. They need it. I mean, you look at the community. It's pretty toxic. I don't know, man. Like I feel like it's time, man. It's time. What do you guys think?
Oh man, said toxic. No, I mean, but you are right though. You are right.
I mean, not all of
yeah,
them.
No. Right. Yeah.
I'm an outsider looking in, man. I'm like, man, like so much negativity and stuff. Like I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, you right. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I ain't gonna dive in on 2K like that or what have you, you know, because it ain't necessarily about that. But what I will say though is like with live, like what you were just saying, Uber, you know, it was on top back then. Like I remember playing my favorite was live 95. That was my own personal favorite. And then you also had Coach K. And when you could, you know what I'm saying? When you could shatter the backboard and everything.
Boy, Corliss Williamson coming down. I ain't played with nobody else but Arkansas. That was it.
Inspired by Darvin Ham, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
Smashing glass, man. Oh, gosh. Boy, that, man. That's what I'm saying. Throwing double and triple alley-oops and stuff in there because you had the because for those, so there may be some that may not be hip to that pay attention to this, but you had the multi-tap. You know what I'm saying? You had to buy the multi-tap, and you had the 4 players, and we would I don't know if they did it in live where you could all be on the same team, but you would control your guys, and we running around the court. We doing stuff like when I was playing on the basketball team, we would be running some of the drills and stuff. Like
the Chiefs took Patrick Mahomes. Yikes.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's, you know
what, that's Big Andy Reid all day though.
I ain't too surprised.
I don't know about that.
Think about it. This dude, man, like, because listen, I didn't want the Steelers to get a quarterback. But when they were talking about this guy, the Steelers had an eye on him. We brought him in the first round. I was like, I don't want a quarterback in the first round. But when I look at this tape, he's raw, but dude, this kid's accuracy with the deep ball is retarded. And man, they got him on film. He threw the ball in the air 80 yards. But like if you look at his ability, if you just look at how they run their offense with Alex Smith, this dude can do that. And he can run when he needs to. But that's not surprising to me. That's definitely not surprising to me. That kid is nice, man. He's gonna be special if he stays healthy. Okay.
But no, what I was just saying was that, you know, like you had live back then, you had live 96 where you can put in the players' names, especially rookies and everything, because they had them programmed. No, if you bought it on Genesis, they had them programmed in the game, and you put them in the creative player thing, and it would pop them up, and you can assign them to teams and stuff. It's like live had it all, and then it to me, it's like they had an identity crisis when they got to Gen 3. With like Live 06 and carrying on. And it's like they try this gimmick, they try this, they try that for like a year, maybe 2, and then they switch it completely up. Yeah. And then they went extreme with NBA Elite. in which we all were looking like, why did they do that? But, you know, that was a big time mistake doing that. And then they've been basically had to hit the reset button and start over. And I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that is in the game. Yes, without question. Even Live 16, there's good stuff. There's a lot of basketball that's not given credit to in Live 16. And it just doesn't have the animation library that 2K had. If you put 2K's animation library in Live, I would say you put half of it in Live. It's right there with 2K. Right.
You look at that quick video that I posted when I was, you know, kind of going over this topic. When you look at that game, it actually shocked me looking at it from the EA broadcast. I was like, wow. Like, the game don't look that bad, bro.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some key things that they need to do, and just like what you said about Madden, it's the little things that go a mighty long way. They need to get right. It's the same thing with Live. It's like they halfway did it, but it wasn't fully done. And if they fully do some key things, the funny thing is that some of these things are done in Pro-Am, but it's not in the regular game. And it's like, if they just get some key things right, like defensively, positioning, making adjustments, actually being able to contest a shot. If I want to go for a block, let me block. Not, I'm going to put my hands up and that's it, or whatever. None of that stuff. Right. And don't make my guy fly and flail out of the way when I'm in direct position. You're coming my direction, and then they make me jump up and I go to the side. Like, no, I'm jumping straight at him. I want to stop his progress and foul him, or let me knock that ball out.
Yep.
That kind of stuff is like, like that's really what they need. You know what I'm saying? That plays, freelance, a heck of a lot more freelance sets, and give me some specific team plays and playbooks. That's the kind of depth they need. And then also they need to have an actual franchise. Okay, they've had the exact same franchise set up pretty much since PlayStation 1 days. Like, you can't come with that anymore. That's not going to be acceptable. You got to add some depth to the game, man. And if you don't add any depth, then you might as well pack it in and just say 2K, y'all got it, because that's what it's going to be. Especially considering how much time has passed by. We're talking about 2 years, pretty much. Well, I would say 1.5 years, but you know, and then you got people that were upset about what happened with, you know, the game not coming out, even though I said, you know, they never set a release date. Like, if you gave me a street date and it was like a week before releasing, and they said, oh, we're playing it in the office and having fun, and we're going to push it back to the fall, then I'd be pissed. But if you know, these dudes never said it was coming out at this date. Right. Look for it. So
we all kind of knew. I mean, even though we didn't know, but we all you can kind of, I mean, just being around the industry for as many years as we've been, you kind of know, look, we haven't seen anything yet. I mean, it ain't going to happen. And, you know, that's for the better. I mean, let's face it. Let's make a better product. You know what I mean? I mean, let's not go the same route we've been going here, you know, and let's just make it right, maybe, you know, and give it some more time. Honestly, I'm kind of over the yearly releases of games, sports games, man.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I'm the guy that goes run into the store and gets it every year, and I'm in line at midnight for Madden and all that stuff. I like that part of it. It's fun for me. But at the same time, like, for the sake of the game, I'm good with every 2 years, whatever it takes to make it like that. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes. Right. Give us a roster update. I mean, we're at the stage in the game now where you can add even feature sets to games. I mean, look how much stuff Madden did last year throughout the release cycle. That's true. They added all this. I mean, they added not just, I mean, it wasn't roster updates. It wasn't just MUT stuff. They added, you know, core things to the game. You know what I mean? They had the salary cap thing for MUT and stuff. I mean, they added core thing. I mean, just give me some of that stuff and work on the main game. Give it to me every 2 years. I'm cool with it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be, man, if they could ever get to that, because I mean, just having the inside track that all of us have, we know what cycles mean, and we now know how short the cycle is, which I never thought 5 years ago. I didn't know that. I'm like, wow, really?
Right.
But just think about what they could do. We understand why they can't. I know shareholders ain't having that.
Yeah.
Their business partners are not having that. But if they could do that, it would be great. In terms of live, man, and I think the theme that all of you guys are hearing from all of us is we're looking at it from a standpoint is they have to at least do something to make people raise an eyebrow like, oh.
Yeah.
Don't expect, and I'm just going to say this, don't expect it to be 2K. I don't want it to be 2K. I want it to be its own representation.
Yep.
I don't expect it to be as deep as 2K. Even though it has been, quote unquote, 2 years, I don't expect them to have all of those modes. I don't. Now, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Now, let me ask you this. Do you ever think it's getting too big? Like, to me, that game is too big right now. Like, I mean, I like a lot of features, but we are to the point where it's getting like too much, man. Like, to me, at least, to me, it's overwhelming. And I listened to the Press Row podcast this last week, and they used the term I'm an like above casual gamer. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself hardcore, but I do appreciate gaming. I'm into it. I'm above casual. And for me, like a game like 2K is getting to the point where it's too big for me. Like there's just too much going on, and you see them having issues with stuff. So, like you said, like I don't need live to be all that. Just succeed with the things that they do have, that they do throw in the game. You know what I mean? Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No problem. It's a good point, because when you look at all that game has to offer, there's modes I still haven't played.
Right.
Because I'm a franchise guy, so I'm trying to play my league. But then I do want to fool around with my career. But then again, I want to play, like I might want to play my team. It's so much that I haven't had the opportunity to I haven't built my own court. I ain't done none of that stuff.
Right.
And even within the modes, there's so much to do. Like, yes. I love the depth that it has in my league. I really wish Madden could get on that type of level. But because I'm so involved in that, I don't get to the other stuff. I don't get to the park like that. I don't.
Right. Yep.
And I guess if you look at it from a business standpoint, maybe their idea is to give everyone their place to play in.
Yeah.
But
let me ask you this, because we're talking about the yearly release site. How would you feel about a subscription-based thing? Like, let's say, okay, they're expecting $60 from us every year. I'm fine with paying that. To me, like I know people complain about prices, and like to me, that is actually still one of the cheaper forms of entertainment, in my opinion.
Right.
$60 game gets me, anywhere from 100 to, or 50 to 100 hours of fun. Maybe in some instances more than that. I'm good with spending $60. Now that's like what, $5 a month?
Yeah.
Now what if they do something like that where it's a subscription-based service? You just NBA Live, $5 a month, or NBA Live Pass. You get this and that. You get some coins for your Ultimate Team, whatever, and you pay $7 a month, whatever it may be. I mean, that I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, just ideas, and then even extend it further to maybe features, because there's just franchise players out there. Then there's just like your mudheads, then there is just online head-to-head players, even to the point where you pay for certain game modes within the game. You know what I mean? To keep, I mean, it's a business, got to keep the revenue going. Just an idea. I would be on board with it, honestly, and I can kind of a la carte pick what I like in the game, buy those features or rent them or whatever you want to call it. I'm good with it, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all, man. I mean, especially if they're delivering the content. I mean, because like you said, most people pay what they're going to pay for the game every year anyway.
Right.
I would assume the subscription would allow you more access to certain things. I mean, I guess kind of like how EA Access is, but it would be more specific to the game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. I mean,
and you may be able to unsubscribe if there's a feature that's not coming through for you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're playing Diamond Dynasty and MLB The Show. Servers aren't working for you. You're not getting your rewards. All right. Well, I tried it for a month. I'm out. I'm just gonna get into franchise now. You know, I mean, I think it'd be a great thing for the consumer. I mean, I don't know business-wise, but I mean, it seems like it would be great. But then again, people might not spend the $60. They would just pick and choose what they want to get. But I don't know. I mean, it's just a food for thought.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see how the community would take it. Smitty, you got a take on that, and let me just say this real quick. Give your thought on that, and then before we let Uber go, after Smitty, give us your expectations for NBA Live 18 at EA Play. What are you hoping to see? But go ahead, Smitty.
All right. No, I was saying, that wouldn't be a bad idea to have, to have a subscription-based game. But when you look at games that are subscription-based, at least to my knowledge, games like EverQuest and World of Warcraft, I don't know of too many games that are along that line that are still out there, but those games, as far as when I see and from what I hear from people that are in those crowds, gameplay is pristine. They're not playing a game that runs like how we see these tournaments with Madden and stuff like that. The gameplay is tight. So my thing is, if you're going to have a subscription-based service, it has to be well worth it off top. It can't be, to some people, a game is always going to be the same old game. You know what I mean? No matter what they say, feel, whatever, no matter what you do. But what I will say is that Madden can come out with the game and have it on a subscription level that the core gameplay is on tap like that. You know what I mean?
We got to trade, Smitty. The Texans moved up to 12. How much you bet they going to take a quarterback?
Uh-oh. They need it.
They need it. I'm about to say.
Official just said it. He said it in the chat. They took Watson. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Or are you just saying that? Because I know mine is delayed. So have they actually done that? Or because I'm looking at it on the phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too.
Like, that would be a good guess, though. That would be a good guess. Probably somebody like Watson. Why would you move up to 12? Mahomes is gone. Like Trubisky's gone. Who else is there if they're going after a quarterback? Unless they're doing all defense. But we'll see.
Yeah. That's true.
Go ahead, the is going to be all night with this draft.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. But no, I was saying that, when people, dang, it just slipped my mind now. What I was saying. Dang, I forgot. Oh well. See, like this is draft thing and everything. Like I'm trying to keep up with it. It slipped my mind, dude. I lost. I know
you was talking about subscription.
The subscription. Okay, yeah. The gameplay has to be trump tight. Modes have to be ridiculously tight. The pressure is really going to be on, and the thing is, when you got 7 to 8 month cycles, that's a problem. Because see, the NFL requires it. Yeah. NFL, NBA, FIFA, MLB, they all require yearly releases.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So the only game that, UFC is an exception because it's, it's no season. It's ongoing.
Right.
So when you have that going on, it's hard to go the route of subscription and say, okay, I'm cool with it. Because what if you got one person that's just playing that 60, they're paying a monthly fee.
There it is. They took him.
Year in, year out. Okay. They're paying that monthly fee year in, year out until they're done with it. Once they're done with it, they're done. There is no $60. See what I'm saying? And then they can just go and pick it back up as they feel. So that would be the problem with doing it that way. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I would rather it be every year and a half or what have you, or 2, because this is not, and I know people on my timeline say it, and people even say it in the chats when we do the show here. This is not Madden back on PS2 days.
Right.
Madden on PS2 days, you could complete, it's not, budget's not as big. It's not as technically, the technical difficulty in terms of building it out in that time frame is not the same. It's not as intricate. Now you got games that rival movie budgets, like legitimate blockbuster films, and they're supposed to get it tight in 8-9 months. And when you're talking that, there's always going to be an update. There's going to be a patch. That's our 2K. Well, I can't necessarily. I think 2K just on an old engine. That engine, they've been running on the exact same engine since Dreamcast. But what I'm saying is like, but even with that though, these games are still under that gun to get it right out the box and have all these great things and everything working and all that. That's why games like MLB The Show with their server issues, I bet you if they had a year and a half time where they can just focus on, they can devote resources, a lot more resource time to getting the whole server thing straight. Like they can get server rooms and get intricate with the detailed features and all that. And they would have it all laid out for us. Then launch it and it's clean out the gate. They can't necessarily do that because they're trying to do it on a rolling schedule. And, that's like with 2K with all the online issues they got. They're on this rolling schedule and they got to roll the game out. And, regardless of what Ronnie and them say, oh, we had these engineers do this and do that. It doesn't matter. You still got the exact same problems happening. And I mean, look how many times 2K's been updated. Like I was playing it earlier today. It hit me with an update. Right. I got to go to the main screen again. So it's like they didn't update this game dang near 30 times or what have you. Right. And when you're doing all that tweaking and everything, that's an unfair hit to the devs because they have to adjust for particular crowds. And I mean, you got people feeling they're only doing it for Pro-Am and they're only doing it for part. They're not really doing it for the core game. Hey, we found out not too long ago that Ace was broken this year. But, I mean, it's not a shock because, I mean, if you've seen the game when it first came out, the double teams were atrocious. Like, it didn't make sense. The logic is still questionable now, but the logic was way worse off at the beginning of the year. And so that's why I'm saying, like, whatever it is, every time I go to EA and I go to the studio or whatever, and I put it on Twitter and stuff, I say whatever it is that the devs do, whatever it is, your feature set, your gameplay stuff, whatever it is that you guys are able to do, just make it as tight as you possibly can, make it as clean as you possibly can upon launch. You know what I'm saying? I know it's going to have hiccups, but just do the best job you can because, somebody can razz you and say, oh, it's not 2K, it doesn't have all that, like you were saying earlier, Uber. But you can at least step up and say, hey, you know what? We didn't get all that, but from what we did get, we were spot on, or we were highly accurate or highly efficient with this, that, and the third. And then they could do their updates, their tuners, whatever, tweak and adjust some things and hopefully make it better. Because they did some things to improve the game, like on Live 15, they did some things. 14, they did as well. 16, they did too. So keep building up in that line. You know what I'm saying? So, But that's all I got, man. Sim?
Nah, man, there's nothing I need to say. Y'all covered it real well, man. But definitely before we move on to the final topic, before Uber goes, I just wanted to hear from you, man. We're going to EA Play. I'll preface it with this. I know, I told guys in my video, Smitty and I have actually had the opportunity early on to kind of see what's going on with live. We have to leave it at that. You may have as well. So we all know how those things go. But what are you expecting to see at EA Play? Like just being a live fan, understanding where they're coming from, not comparing it to 2K or whatever. Right. What are you expecting to see at EA Play or hope to see that can get you more excited about the game?
Okay. Yeah. I was at E3 2 years ago, and I played live then. What was it? Live 15? 16, 15?
Yeah, that was 15. Yeah, because we was at EA Play. I mean E3 too.
That was the last year they were at E3. Yeah. This year I wanna I want to see some promise, man. To Smitty's point, I just want to see. I know, I'm not expecting anything to be perfect. I don't need to see a lot of modes. I just want to get on the court and see something that resembles basketball, the way I know it. And if I see something like that, if I see some promise there, man, I am going to be ecstatic. I'm going to be absolutely ecstatic. Because we're at a point now where, like, I'm in need of a console basketball game that I love again, and I want it to be that. I really do. I'm not going to compare it to the other basketball game, to 2K. I just want to see some promise, man. It's solid basketball movements of players. Something that resembles basketball, and I know it's not going to be perfect. I don't even expect it to be perfect. Just some promise, man. I just want some promise. You know what I mean? And I'm all in, man. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. I mean, I already committed to it. Basically, I'm gonna be behind it. I want it to be good. You know what I mean? I want it to be good, and I'm excited to see what direction they're gonna take it in. I'm really that's gonna be the other thing, because honestly, right now I have no idea. I really don't. I know some things, but I like you were saying, I really don't know what it looks like, what it's gonna be, what the focus is gonna be. But I hope I see something that can show some promise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Smitty and I mean, believe it or not, and when we had opportunity, it was extremely early. So it's kind of like we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
We were, when we had an opportunity to kind of see, it was literally like, I remember Smitty and I actually saying, just to give guys a little nugget, we were like, dang, man, I wish Madden did it this early, because we were at a stage where we were like, all right, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do that, gotta do that. And now we're waiting to see what happened.
Yeah.
So it's same thing with me, man. I just want it to be a promising product. I want it to be a game that I want it to feel like Live 10. When we all was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, they ain't quite there yet, but I see where you're going. That's it.
Right.
I just need it to be a solid game of basketball to make me believe that they will be able to sustain going forward, and we'll be able to get some kind of competition. Whether 2K wins or not is about us gamers having 2 games to play. Absolutely, man. I agree. And then just go the FIFA route, in my opinion. Make incremental changes every year to make it more solid. I mean, to MLB The Show, same thing. Incremental changes. You don't need to blow it up every year. You know what I mean? Some developers like to do it that way. They just throw you all like crazy buzzwords at you and all this crazy stuff and new this, new that, this mode. I don't need all that. Give me incremental changes. Like, let's build towards something. You know what I mean? Just some consistency and some promise, man. I'll be ecstatic with that. Yeah, that's it. Well, man, we definitely appreciated having you on. Invitation is open anytime. I know we got 205 wants to come on with us next week to have, actually be a co-host. So we extend that offer to you as well. Anytime you want to come on and any topics you want to have, we open the doors to anybody. So we appreciate you coming on. It's easy to find him, guys. That's the easiest name on YouTube. YouTuber. Check him out. Please check him out. You won't be disappointed. Very active. Just check him out, man. So appreciate it, guys. We appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate you guys.
Man.
Yes, Great talking to you guys, man. I really had a fun time. Hope to do it again soon.
Oh yeah. Sweet. We definitely will, man. Definitely have a good evening, man. All right, you guys do this.
All right, brother.
Yeah, Smitty. So chime in on that, Smitty. Just real quick, and then we'll kill the last topic. Oh, Hassan Reddick gone.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna be gone. That was just wishful thinking from me anyway, thinking we was gonna get Reddick. I knew daggone well that boy was gonna be gone, but sorry. Well, still the fans, perk up a little bit. Let me just say this real quick. He went at 13. Who's still out there? Jonathan Allen is still out there. That is crazy to me. I thought for sure he was going earlier. I didn't expect those receivers to go as high as they did. I thought the receivers would be a little bit later. Lattimore, I knew he was going early. We all knew that. Conley would be gone too if there wasn't this speculate. We don't know. It's allegations. We don't know if he did, if he didn't. I think it sucks for that kid, man, because if he's innocent, false accusations, they just cost this man millions of dollars because he's probably not going to go in the first round. I expected maybe another corner or two to already be gone, but there's a lot of dudes still out there. Steelers need pass rushers. We need corners. We're going to get somebody. We're going to get one of these people that I've been talking about because we at pick 13, and this is the first, big pass rusher to go. Interesting. But, yeah, Smitty, real quick, man. I'm sure you can sum it up in real quick, but – what's your expectations, man? What are you hoping to see when we get out there?
I'm hoping for a build off of from what we've seen without question. But like what I was saying earlier, I'm looking for what their last effort did not fully execute upon. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for defense. I'm looking for handles. I'm looking for individuality. I'm looking for ball physics. I'm looking for player physics. I'm looking for modes. I'm looking for depth. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for expansion, legitimate expansion in this game. So expanding in all those aspects. And if anything, nailing the core down. Just have a solidified core to build off of and go forward with. And I'll be happy from that. Something that they can continuously build upon and then be proud of. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So that's what, But I got some vids, like I said at the beginning of the show, I got some vids forthcoming that I'll be, diving deeper into things like, what I hope to see and expectations and what I want to see, don't want to see.
Right.
When Live 18 is unveiled, especially at EA Play. So, I'll have that forthcoming little mini series of vids, but still that's in the works. So, but yeah. That's
Can't wait for that. Man. Can't wait for that, man. Yeah. We just need it, and it's crazy, man. The last little thing I'll say about that is people just get too involved with they love 2K, they love EA or whatever. It shouldn't be that. You should love games. Like, why would you want EA? Like, people always say they should just give it up. Why? And like this one guy said in my video, he left a comment. I just thought it was hilarious. The dude said, this is not a genuine video. He's just. And I was going to respond, but y'all know I don't respond to people no more. Cause for what? But I'm like, what? I don't get that. Why would I not want, cause then he said, oh, you just want the game to succeed. Why wouldn't I? It doesn't affect my life whether Live is good or not. Now, think about it. How long has it been since Live been a good game? Has it affected any of us? No. But why wouldn't I want the game to be good? We want options. So stuff like that is crazy to me. Like, oh, EA should give it up. And even with the Madden stuff, when people say, oh, EA need to just give it to 2K. Oh, so you just want that one game? People would kill me with that. But let's move on to the last topic here, man. As I see Philly's pick is coming up here. The question is, man, and I saw this from Operation Sports last week. It was a tweet. It was kind of like a poll or question that they put out. And they said, can CFM, online CFM actually be a marketing tool for Madden? Now, I didn't follow the whole thing to see if anybody clarified exactly what they were saying, but let me tell you what I take from it. I took it from this standpoint. If it was up to par, if it was official, where it's has depth and it's the NFL experience and the gameplay is solid, that's the direction I'm going with it. I don't know on what level they were saying it, but I got the impression the way they're asking that question, they're saying if CFM was enhanced gets to where we all think it needs to be in terms of depth, could it be a marketing tool? So my quick answer to that, I say absolutely. There's a segment of people, particularly most of us here, we want the NFL experience. I'm willing to bet you, man, that we would even be willing to pay a little extra. Not everybody, but let's just imagine if they had like these packages that came out to boost CFM and it's $15, $10, whatever. I probably would do it. I mean, I would hate it, but at the end of the day, I would probably do it. And I wouldn't expect them to do something like that because I assume that they don't need help monetarily. But I'm just saying, even if it came down to something like that, listen, I really think if they make that game what we all want it to be, it could very well be used as a marketing tool. Because Smitty, all they would have to do is go with the idea that I've been saying for the last couple of years. You tailor CFM as being the full-blown NFL experience. Everything from, there's another pass rusher. Derek Barnett, Philly. I see that. I see them picking him. Mm-hmm. Ain't surprised by that one either. Don't worry, Steelers fans. None of us thought Barnett would be available anyway. But, yeah, man, it's like you got to look at it like this. You make it the NFL experience. You got pro days, combine, all of this stuff, scouting, got to hire coaches, all of that kind of stuff, real training, real game planning, et cetera, all that stuff we want, like multiple, being able to put in a second unit in preseason and the 90-man cuts and all of that stuff that we all want, that we saw on, Deuce Douglas's post, the things that we liked from 2K5, the things that we liked from head coach 09, all of that, the injury system, the wear and tear, et cetera, et cetera. You mean to tell me if you get the game on that level, like on my league in Madden, that you couldn't promote that? I think you very well could. Because if the gameplay is on the level of being superb and you have all of these things that affect gameplay, you're selling the NFL experience. That's how I would package it. And it's a shot in the dark. It doesn't hurt you one way or another because let's say it don't work. So what? Madden will continue to be what it is now. MUT will still be the dominant feature that brings all the people in and brings a lot of money in, et cetera, et cetera. But it wouldn't hurt you to try to go after another crowd because there's no secret. Everyone knows this. That the business people are always trying to figure out what they can do to gain more buyers. Because there's no way you're going to tell me that they have not looked at their numbers and realized, wait a minute. When we were in competition with 2K Sports, we sold right around 6-7 million, whatever. I'm just rounding it off. Let's say 2K sold like 3 or 4 million. I know Smitty probably knows a little more than that because he told me about it years ago. You think they ain't never sat there and said, wait a minute, they're no longer there. Why ain't we selling 10 or 11 million? Where are those people at? So my point is, yes, I think absolutely it could be a selling point because you hear people talk about the depth in MLB all the time, even though it don't work that great online. But you hear people talk about that. You hear people talk about 2K's my league. So if Madden was on that level, I think you could absolutely sell that as the full NFL experience. And I'm pretty sure they would gain a whole lot more customers who have currently put their game down. That might be the thing that brings those guys in, not the people who are already buying it, but the people who've decided not to buy it. What you think, Smitty?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So that's why I'm saying, like, excuse me. That's why I'm saying, like, what people. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. I'm sorry. I think my draft thing just updated here. Oh, okay, no, it didn't yet. All right, no. Like, I think that in regards of what's going on here with you know, within Madden, and like as far as the development, like, dang it, I'm losing my train of thought. It just slipped off. What was the last thing? What was the last thing you were basically saying, so then I can pick up?
I was just saying that I think that if they were to, you know, get it to where it needs to be, I think it's a huge section of people that have put the game down.
Oh yeah, the sales. That's right. Yeah,
maybe waiting for that, you know.
Yeah, because you had that's right. Because Madden used to sell 10 million plus back then. Okay, you got several million that are sitting on the sidelines. So where's you know those people at? You got other games that are out here, but at the same time, remember back then you had a lot. No, that's the other thing too. You had a lot more people that owned PlayStations and such back then as well. PS2s, I should say specifically.
That's a good point.
But at the same time, these people were buying 2K, they were buying Madden in the midst of all that competition that you had. Now, you got Madden on an island, but where are the people at? See what I'm saying? And it's not, excuse me. It's not like, remember, FIFA was not always selling 10, 11 million copies at one point. PES was the one that was ahead of FIFA before. But then, now FIFA is out. Now you see FIFA out here selling as many copies as they are. Just think, see, this is why we talk about player individuality and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I'm looking on the timeline, right? I'm looking at the timeline right now, and I see Madden, they out here tweeting these different cards, Mike Williams, this and all that stuff, or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Patrick Mahomes. Now, what if these dudes had their animations, had their styles, and said, "Oh, by the way, we got it programmed in the game right now. Go ahead, and when you get him in Ultimate Team, he's gonna have similar movement like him. He's gonna have similar pass placement like him. Same with Mike Williams. He's got a distinct run style, but he's got a distinct style of play based upon his draft report and the animations and his run motion and how he gets open on routes and how aggressive he plays passes and stuff like that, or conservative, is going to show."
Mm-hmm.
See, that stuff's not in Madden right now. Those kind of aspects is what gets you from selling that 5-6 million to getting the 7, 8, 9, 10 plus. And I know I'm talking about Ultimate Team, but see, I'm mentioning Ultimate Team, but this means your game in general, the core. Because at the core, these players don't do that kind of stuff right now. They do a few things here and there, but what really makes them, what would make them stand out? Like, what would make this quarterback stand out over anybody else? If I were to put him in the game versus somebody else, and what performance differential am I getting? Am I really going to feel it? Is the value really going to be there? That's just like a point I made back then about Dan Marino and his passing, excuse me, versus having Tom Brady or what have you. If I got Tom Brady, even primetime Tom Brady, he's not throwing it like Dan Marino. Dan Marino throws darts and hurts people. Brett Favre did that too. He was hurting. He was pointing and clicking passes all over the field. Just do. They don't do that in Madden. See what I'm saying? APF has it. You can clearly see the difference between when you got Dan Marino at quarterback and you throw a dart versus any other quarterback in the game. That, my friends, is how you get that distinct player variety in there. And then that's when you're talking about Ultimate Team being on a whole different level. That would be retarded. Your core game, you got all this differential variety going on, but then you go into Ultimate Team and it's on swole, pretty much, in terms of that robust play. And that's the kind of stuff that you need. That's the kind of stuff that you need in the game to get those kind of differentials. You don't have that stuff. You know what I mean? How one player on the defensive line plays in comparison to another guy on the defensive line. Same thing on the offensive line. This guy, he can seal the edge in a different manner in comparison to that other guy. That's what we need. And see, the problem is just like what my man said. He said Madden is too generic and it needs more individuality. And that's the whole thing. We need to see that individuality come out. Now, I know they're still building the game and fixing things up core-wise and things like that, but that's the kind of stuff we need, so in that way the game is solid altogether. That's just what we need, period. You do that, you're satisfying all crowds. And then you're talking about the core game of Madden being tighter, then you're talking about CFM being a lot tighter because
Yo. I don't know what happened there, guys. Looked like Smitty froze up for a minute. Confirm that y'all can still hear me, though. All right, just confirm to me, guys, that y'all can still hear me. Looked like Smitty froze, but, we're about to wrap up the show anyway. Just to comment on what Smitty said, I absolutely agree. And the reason, why we talk about gameplay so much is because gameplay to me is the crux of CFM. I say this all the time. It's one and the same for me because your gameplay has to be on par in order for the components that you want in CFM to work. In order for the components that you want in other areas to work. Think about it. Y'all hear me and Smitty say all the time, player movement, player likeness, and individuality, badges, and all of this stuff. Great. We want those just as bad, if not badder than most. But the problem comes here. Now that we both are able to see things from a development side of things, the gameplay has to support it. Because let's talk about player movement. I've said this 100 times, but why not continue to say it? We always have newcomers watching the show. Player movement, right? Let's say player movement is not crisp. What good does a signature animation do? No good at all. If the guy's sliding all across the field. I mean, you know what I mean? So that's why when you hear us ask these questions and we talk about CFM, we always bring it back to gameplay. Core gameplay, because if core gameplay is not where it needs to be, all of the stuff we hope and wish for means nothing. I even talked about it in my stream last night, the quick stream I did while we were doing that draft. I was like, it's cool listening to some of these stories and I want more of that, but that don't reflect in the gameplay. Listen, if you guys are, I know you guys are listening to us, so I appreciate it, but maybe you're also listening to your TV. You hear what they're saying about these players. You don't hear what they're saying about these guys. Even when they show them when they get picked, they show their strengths and weaknesses. You see all of that. How does that translate in Madden?
Right.
But, I think Smitty and I both agree, before we wrap up, is yes, I think it could be a huge selling point if the game, think about it, man. And let me throw this one at him, Smitty. If I was in charge, and we got this game crisp. And you know what I would do? Come draft time, now I'm marketing CFM to y'all all year, right? Because right after the Super Bowl, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you my Madden commercial and tell you about how important it is to watch these players now as they prepare for the combine, right? Boom. Then here comes the combine, and just a little screenshot. No, I don't want to see no gameplay yet because you're still in development. But now I show you a screenshot, Madden such and such year, whatever year it is, at the combine. Remember, when you get your Madden, see how you watching these players on NFL Network. You're gonna need to do the same thing in CFM once the season drops. Boom, draft day, right? Now, y'all remember when you get that Madden, You got to pay attention to these mocks. Listen to Mike Mayock. Listen to Mel Kiper and all of these guys, how they're describing these players. You're going to have to do your research if you want to get the draft pick that you want. Because now I'm talking about Smitty. Now we got this sending your scouts out and all that in the game. See?
Yeah, see?
That's how you market it. You
Yep.
market it at each point of the NFL, OTAs and all of that. Imagine, don't let us get in charge, Smitty. And I'm not saying that they're doing a bad job. I'm just saying this would be my idea how you could sell it.
Yeah.
You pump people up all the way until August, till preseason, and you'd be like, boom, here's your game. Go replicate that.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, look, I'll say this real quick. They had this as a topic earlier this week on the local radio show here. And they were saying that some people actually look forward to the draft more than they do the Super Bowl. The draft is the Super Bowl to them because that's what they get amped up. One of the hosts was saying that they get amped up and scream at the TV when somebody gets picked, like if it's a pick that happens or a trade. See?
The Ravens took Marlon Humphrey.
See? Just like what Sim just did is literally what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff.
Daggone it.
It's one thing when somebody throws a pick, okay? It's one thing when somebody throws a pick, overthrows, doesn't make a first down. Yeah, you get upset about that. But it's a whole different thing. These players have not even touched the NFL surface yet, and we're like, oh, he's not coming here. What are they doing? Like that whole layer of intrigue is what people are tuned in for. They're watching this stuff live. Just think you got it at the NFL draft in Philly, right? You got it in the draft in Philly. You got draft week coverage and everything they've been talking about. You got Madden, just like what Sim said. You got Madden promos talking about, okay, you got the OTAs. You pay attention to these guys. Now, watch them make that transformation in Madden or watch them as they go into, like, you got, like you seeing these dudes with the screen pics they're showing on Twitter and everything. Put them in, you see what's going on in there, and then you progressively just got media, you got stuff that you're showing people to look forward to throughout the year. Just a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, the playbooks. Remember, y'all, the playbook series that we would have, like especially around now, we would have the playbooks would have started rolling out. We got look, this is what we did with audio. This is what we did with franchise. This is what we did with gameplay. We got gameplay part 1, part 2. We got this, we got that. And then after E3, you got MUT and all that stuff, whatever, right? That's the kind of stuff we need. Back. Do it that way, man. Especially with they push the draft back. Then take advantage of that, man. Combine and all that good stuff, man. Show that stuff. That's the stuff that you need to see. You need to make sure people are immersed all year round, not via just Ultimate Team. They need to be immersed in the sense of not, hopefully I could pull a card, but yo, this is football right here. Madden is part of that package, and they take full advantage of it. Look, NBA 2K does it. They don't necessarily endorse events that are happening, but I promise you, it may not be on the local networks, TNT or what have you, but some of the other networks in other stations, you know, other cities, countries, whatever, that show the game, they show NBA 2K17 commercials. They did it last year for 2K16. They were showing 2K16 commercials all playoffs long. See what I'm saying? They do it the whole year. They don't stop it. Madden, it just stops. As soon as Super Bowl's over, that's it. You know, like that promo you seen the little, you know, for the tournament. We saw that during the Super Bowl, and we're like, yo, what about NFL Network? Commercials should be running rampant through there.
That's it.
Then NFL Draft comes about, the combine and everything, all combine weekend. Madden, we hitting you with this. You can even talk about Ultimate Team in there. That's how you build that base. You build it for everything. You start to build that anticipation for franchise. You could cover the whole facet of the game without giving anything away. You could cover all bases just by letting it be known in various ways that you're there. and we're coming with something new for the next year. Just hit them with the nuggets, give them the snippets all year round, and then boom, you got it. So, but that's it, man.
Absolutely, man. It's funny, guys. Well, we're about to wrap up here, but I just saw a couple of funny tweets that I got to mention. It's hilarious how things get dug up when you about to be a millionaire. So there's a tweet from Mitch Trubisky. It says it was December the 27th, 2011. The tweet says, "I love to kiss titties."
Oh.
And of course, you know, people talking about it now, and I'm like, listen, man. Okay, this dude is in college. Go back to that time, 2011.
Yeah.
A high school kid. And it's like, who cares? That's innocent. But I know because people are already saying there's going to be people saying, oh, we got to watch his character.
Yeah.
Stop with that. But then also, man, shout outs to, I got to give a plug, man, as if he needs it. SteelersDepot.com, you know, Dave Bryant is one of the Daves that do the podcast that they have weekly. He posted because, you know, I know a lot of us, you know, in the Steeler Nation was saying, yo, Marlon Humphrey might be a guy that we could get at. You know, we brought him in. Ravens grabbed him. And that always seems to happen in our division. You know, it's like the Ravens or even Cincinnati is usually the one that pulls that move on us real quick. But he just tweeted out, he said, okay, Humphrey, he said, I'd like to introduce you to Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant. So that made me feel a little better, like, hey, it sucks, but it is what it is. But Cincinnati got Ross, man. That's a speedy guy. Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, and you know, guys, this is all speculation. And Smitty knows this. We don't know how these dudes are going to pan out, when they're going to play. Ross will probably play right away because Cincinnati needs some help at wide receiver. But that's going to be dangerous out the gate. You have to pay attention to AJ Green. I don't care who you are. And then you got a burner on the other side. I mean, even if they just, for real, all they got to do is mimic what the Steelers did when we had Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace was just a fly pattern guy. That's all we needed him to do. Go deep, and we're going to work underneath. And if they single you up, we're going to do it to you. That's going to be a problem, especially against our secondary, because we don't know yet what the secondary going to look like until after this draft. But I'm speaking right now before the draft has completed. The way the Steelers secondary played last year, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that type of combination there. But hopefully, when I come back to you guys, Turbo Towel Tuesday, I would definitely be able to be smiling and be proud of who we picked up. I'm hoping there's going to be a couple corners, maybe a safety, definitely pass rusher. Josh Dobbs, I still think is going to come to us in the third round. I just have a feeling they're going to go that way. Or Brad Kaya. A lot of different guys, man, that I think we might get. I'm looking, Smitty, tonight is probably going to be TJ Watt. Just have a feeling. But again,
I think so.
Jonathan Allen is still on the board. What's going on? Reuben Foster still on the board, and I know he got some, you know, diluted situation. Jabril Peppers, all of these dudes, and see in the Peppers situation. Let me say that real quick, Smitty.
He's unique,
very unique, man. Because even the diluted sample thing is weird, and I believe that teams have done their homework to find out.
Allen off the board now.
Oh, he gone? All right.
Yep.
All right.
So Washington got him.
Ooh, the Redskins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's major for Washington. Okay. Well, I'm sure Hollywood Sports sitting in here happy, and Dave Pearson as well. Because I was fooling with him, Smitty. I said today Washington will do something stupid like take a kicker in the first round. But okay, finally. Jonathan Allen was that 17th pick. I didn't expect him to go that late. So some premier defenders are still out there, guys, and we're about to be at 18. So we're 13 picks away. So yeah, and I'm gonna come back to y'all tonight. I told you I'm gonna do a quick video in regards to how I feel about the first round pick. But Yeah, I guess we'll end it on that, Smitty. Madden definitely could. Wow. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. But again, game got to get there. But that's the answer to that question. To me, that is the perfect answer. Yes, they could absolutely market CFM, online CFM, obviously, offline as well. But you could market that and mimic the NFL. And then on top of that, you got all kinds of marketing opportunities. Because I'm going to tell you right now, even if I won't into CFM, if I keep seeing this stuff like they're doing tonight, like Madden is just sending their little screenshots, but imagine if we were actually seeing more. Now you show a little bit of game asset, but each step of the way, all the way through the first preseason game, you better believe I'm going to try out CFM when I get the game. And maybe I'm like it, maybe I'm not, but you get a lot of people's hands on it. So opportunity is there, man. But before we wrap up, Smitty, we didn't really say much of this earlier, but I'll ask you, is there anybody you looking for your Lions to grab in the first round?
I don't have anybody specific. I mean, honestly, it's up in the air. It's really up in the air. But we need linebacker. We need linebacker support. Depending upon, I mean, heck, I would say wide receiver help, but I mean, hey, they scooping them suckers up left and right earlier on. So I would say we need help in the secondary, and we need help in the linebacking core. So I'm like, honestly, if Watt, if Watt is chilling there, I wouldn't have a problem with him being picked up if he's available. But at the same time, we do need cornerback help. So either linebacker, or if we go linebacker or cornerback, unless there's an option that was not expected available to be available, I'm cool with that. Otherwise, I don't want to see these dudes go for no offensively, like as far as like tight end, like they've been talking about. I don't think we don't need to do that. We need help in our secondary. We get a wide receiver a little bit later in the draft, I think.
Oh yeah, plenty of them out there.
So,
plenty of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it all week, last couple of weeks, man. These mock things are so hard, man. That is, as much as I'm into football, and I'm nowhere into it like Mayock and those guys where they know all these players. But I really want the Steelers to go edge rusher, cornerback, or cornerback, edge rusher. It just has to be those two picks in the first two. It's going to depend on who's still there at 30, in my opinion, which will determine who they pick. Wouldn't be mad at Watt. Definitely would not. If for some reason Reuben Foster falls, wouldn't be mad at that. Just to go back to what you said with Jabril Peppers, that's an interesting one for me, man. He's such an athlete. He's like a Swiss Army knife. What position we play? You know what I mean? Like safety, the Steelers and people harp on they beat up Mike Mitchell. And listen, Mike Mitchell is not a bum. He's just not a cover safety. He's not an Earl Thomas. He's not. He gets in position at times, but he lays the boom. He's a hitter. He's more of a Cam Chancellor. Let's be honest. Now, Cam might be a little more athletic, but think about it. Cam Chancellor, to me, ain't no great cover guy either. He's an enforcer. So Mike Mitchell is not always in the right spot. You know what I mean? So I don't know if we value safety that early, and that's why I would see Peppers being a safety or sub-package linebacker. But if Obi Malinfanu, the Titans just took Adoree Jackson. Great pickup. Great pickup for them. Solid pickup. And see, I had my eyes on him in the second round playing the slot, not on the outside. He's a little shorter, 5'10". He's not that big as far as corner. Perfect slot guy. Ran a 4.4. Has a nice looking girlfriend, as I see there. But shout outs to him for that. She happy because she know what that about to be. But yeah, that would have been a huge pick for us because we need a slot guy. We need a slot guy, and we need an outside guy, Smitty, that could challenge Ross Cockrell. Artie Burns He's solidified. He's a rookie. He's gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. Wow, did y'all see the comment this fool just left in the Jesus Christ. Go to sleep, bro. You need to go to sleep and you need to go read the Bible or something. You need Jesus in your life, bro. Seriously. Oh wow, I found out I got the Rams in there. Oh, let me let y'all know that. We're doing random teams for Madden 18. I'm not gonna be playing as my Steelers in this Sim Standard Radio League. It really hurts, guys. I'm having heart palpitations. But Stack just told me that I got the Rams. So that should be an interesting one. That should be a very interesting, turn of events there. So we'll see. But that's it, guys. We ain't got nothing else, man. Continue watching the draft. Good luck to all of you guys' teams. Hope you get what you want in this round and beyond, because remember, I'll give you 2 names, and there's plenty more. Tom Brady went in what, Smitty, 6th round? Antonio Brown, 6th round. So I always tell people, listen, I watch the whole draft because there's always dudes late that ends up being productive. Even we got old boy in the same draft, Emmanuel Sanders. We got him actually in the 3rd or the 4th, I believe it was. Martavis Bryant, 4th round. So I'll keep y'all eyes out, man. Watch your team the whole weekend. And, do like I do. If you don't know the players, go look at their highlights and kind of decide for yourself what you think they could do for your team. But, good luck to everybody's team, man, until we play y'all. But, all right, that's all we got, man. You got anything else, Smitty?
No, that's pretty much it. Just enjoy the draft, and, we shall holler at y'all on next week.
Absolutely. Next week, we'll have 2 co-hosts as of now. It'll be 205, and we'll have our man Neff on the line with us as well. So that should be a fun one. But all right, that's all we got. Catch y'all next week. Y'all be safe. Peace.